Get Into Gate. This is episode 97. We are talking Stargate SG-1. Some old school fans introducing a new viewer to the show. The full Get Into Gate team is here. My name is Mitch. We've also got Matty.
Yow.
Brendan.
Hello.
And our new and first-timer Rhys.
G'day, guys.
And our fifth man from last week, our weaponry, our military... advisor, expert, whatever, he's here. Craig, welcome back, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Craig.
Thank you, Matty, for picking him up and bringing him back in again. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, the awkward conversations in the car. No, I'll tell you. It's a lot of
It's
work.
only awkward if you let it be, mate.
It's only awkward if you're not into it. So
Just close your eyes. I mean, that might be an issue if you're driving.
See what you did
That's
there?
true.
Oh, the traffic today, though, mate.
More
Could have
exciting.
closed my eyes.
Oh, you need someone on the radio telling you where the traffic is, mate.
Right?
Who?
Wouldn't know.
Someone,
I thought you were about to crack into your voice there for a sec.
someone on a station someone actually listens to would be great. Next week, mate, they'll put you on the proper. Put you on the proper stations.
Yeah, mate. Ones that pay money, you
I
know.
just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to do a fatty vort and say, "Oh, fucked it," on air.
Plenty of those, mate.
We are talking about The Tomb, episode 8 of season 5. Let's go back to the old DVD synopsis, find out what it's all about, and throw it over to Rhys and see what he thought about it for the first time. On a rescue mission to recover Russian soldiers believed to be missing in action on a previously undisclosed trip, SG-1 gets trapped in a Gould tomb with a number of decomposed bones and a deadly alien monster with an appetite for human flesh. Wow.
Jesus.
Telegraph that one.
Halloween was 2 weeks ago, guys. Thanks very much.
See what you did there.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, this had everything needed for a great episode, and I think it just fell short.
Yeah, I concur.
I mean, off-world mission with the Russians, that sounds like a great, awesome, cool concept.
Even an on-world mission with the Russians sounds like a cool concept.
Oh, yeah, like Watergate. I mean, went and worked, or didn't work with the Russians, but went to
Yeah.
Russian.
Worked with a Russian.
Yeah,
Worked
but
with a
Jack
Russian.
being a sarcastic dick to Russians is gold.
Yeah.
But then they just spent the whole time in not a pyramid, a ziggurat.
Ziggurat.
A
A
tomb.
ziggurat where they found some cigarettes.
Russian
A
cigarettes.
little bit of trivia for you. I've actually been to a ziggurat. A
All
real
right.
one.
Really?
In Southern Iraq on our base when I was there in 2006, 2007. There's a place called the Ziggurat of It's apparently the oldest...
Herua!
Ah.
Nice.
Apparently it's the oldest known man-made structure on the planet.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mesopotamia and all that jazz.
And what'd you do, blow it up?
Well, no, we
It's
didn't.
funny you say that.
Yeah, there were Russians in there.
We put 15 blocks of C4 there and blew the whole thing up.
Strapped into
There
a
was a-
camel and just let it run
There was
inside.
a massive earwig with a Gould in it.
No, but like I'm pretty sure just looking at that one, it looked very much like that one. So it looked like they'd taken photos of it and then done extra stuff to it.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
Well, they might as well just had a photo because that CGI wasn't great.
Oh, you know what pissed me off about that thing? Where Jackson's standing there studying it and goes, "Oh, I don't know how to open it." And then when they do open it, it's like obvious 4 buttons on the door. or 3, wasn't it?
Three.
Three.
Yeah, I think
It's got to be in order, mate. Only a
Like,
priest would
come
know
on.
it.
You could, yeah, but take you 20 minutes to guess that.
Yeah. All right, Carter, get
Well,
out the C4.
Wait. In the audio commentary, they actually said they didn't actually tell Michael Shanks where those 3 buttons were, so he's legitimately trying to look for them.
Come on.
And he's like trying to find where there's one
That
that
can't
just
be
Is this
real.
another
slightly bigger
dumbass
gap.
Daniel moment?
Absolutely.
Well, especially
Damn,
the third one.
Dumbass Daniel!
And
Shanksy.
here, and I'm like, you mean the
Oh, yeah.
one that's clearly got like definition
Yeah.
around it?
And he's trying to scrape away the dirt.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, mate.
Yeah, that did my head in.
yeah, that was tough.
And then that idiot Russian just stood under it while it was trying to close later.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be the
Get out
hero,
of there.
like holding the door open. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you just got crushed by 3 ton of stone.
He was a little bit like that henchman in the first Austin Powers, like the guy that was crushed by the
Oh, the
steamroller.
roller.
Like,
Yeah.
no, because that guy, they're like, O'Neill's like, get out of there, and he's just like laying on it.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
And the fact that the fact that the Russian colonel was like, no, we have to get out of here. We just have to go back and blow up that door to get out, knowing that like his man is like under all that rubble and
Yeah.
got blown up with it. And he's like, it's fine, he's dead, it's fine,
Dead
just
already.
blow it up. We need to get out of here.
Oh,
Serves him right.
grenades don't make people blow up. Oh, clearly.
People make people blow up.
Zing.
People with grenades.
Yeah,
like,
people with grenades make
Good
people
call.
not with grenades throw up.
Now, I know when Damo gave us a voicemail last week, he said he didn't want to bring up the O word, but I will...
Orgasm.
Careful now.
Yes, orgasm.
Omen
Stargate. Orgasm, moment of Salah. Does anything they actually state in the backstory of this episode talking about the DHD belonging to the Germans and blah 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 World War II when it was? Does any of this like even change anything further about what happened in Origins? Because I know we spoke about Watergate in our Origins chat. Did we even mention anything about this episode, or are they basically just repeating the same thing over again?
Yeah, basically, because it's just the Russians again, so they're just repeating the same thing that the Russians knew that the Germans had the DHD. That's really all it is.
I just didn't know whether they went one line extra in this episode, or
I think they threw out a year. I think they gave us a year or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But there actually was a little piece of information in here that I had never connected. This whole episode, they're after the Russians are after the Eye of Tiamat. Now, I thought that was just a one-off nothing, but that's actually mentioned next season.
Oh, is it?
Which
Yeah.
episode?
That's that little piece that old mate.
Yeah,
I
the
thought-
little crystal.
I thought that was season 7.
No. So
Okay.
I was.
You know, with
I was
the
a-
Eye of Ra stuff. With
Yeah, well, yeah,
Daniel?
that's-
that's
that is next
that's
season.
the end of next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I was a little
Cool.
bit. I was a little bit iffy about cutting the audio because there can be some potential spoilers in there for Rhys.
So just don't do it.
Okay, then. Because I had cut some audio but bleeped out a few words, but we can just leave it. But in the audio,
If in doubt, cut it out.
did you just reference Full House?
Absolutely.
Wow. Full House or Full House?
Full, not
Okay, there we
fuller.
go. That's all right. Then I'll
I mean,
accept it then.
Probably the same catchphrase, isn't it?
But yeah, so
I had
next
no idea what
season,
either of you were talking about.
But Olsen twins, mate.
yeah, cut it out.
God,
Hot.
Was it the Olsen
Not after
twins
they
or
grew up.
wasn't it Uncle Joey?
With the nappies, thanks. You got it, dude. You know
got
what I
it,
mean?
dude.
You got it, dude.
I got you, dude.
So next season we hear about the Eye of Ra and a certain person who's trying to collect the Eye of Ra, and then a certain person says the other person
Get all the eyes.
has already collected the Eye of Blah, the Eye of Blah, the Eye of Tiamat, and they only
Right.
need the Eye of Ra left.
I was thinking about that. During this
So
rewatch.
yeah, at some point between now and the end of season 6.
So instead of cutting together the audio, did you just say it at me?
Well, no, I've cut around.
Said
No,
something
none of
dark
that-
side.
none of that stuff is spoilers, but the names and the people who say it are the spoilers, and those are the things that I just spoke around.
Yeah.
Pretty much worked it out.
Okay, so what happens?
I'm not going to spoil it for you, Matty.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll wait.
So
when we get there, I'll say, yeah, I knew it.
yeah,
That was actually the name of Tilk's penis.
yeah.
The Eye of Tiamat.
So at a certain
right.
point between now and the end of season 6, has gone and actually like uplifted that ziggurat and found the Eye of Tiamat in the rubble left behind, which I'd never put that together before.
He has a name, mate.
You can't, yeah,
Obviously, Frere.
but you're not important enough to know it.
Yeah.
It's a reference to next week. Rhys.
don't
You'll be
worry about
fine.
it, bro.
You'll be fine.
Cool.
He'll be
You'll be
right.
fine.
Great chat.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been easier and more efficient to just
I
play
think-
the audio, but that's fine.
I think the coolest thing about this episode is it reminded me a little bit of the Mummy, where they put the dude in there, and in the Mummy they put him in with all those bugs,
the scarab beetles,
the
or whatever
scarab
it was.
flesh-eating beetles.
Yeah.
And this one, it was like the sarcophagus is keeping the dude alive.
Yeah, we'll just keep like getting eaten
Forever.
I know. It's like the worst
yeah.
punishment.
And they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, until Marduk is finally just like, oh, okay, I'll just take over the thing.
Yeah.
in me.
I wonder how long that
Yeah, I
took.
wonder how long it took him to finally realize that was like. Would have had to been quick though, because otherwise that thing was pretty quick. So it's like, how long would it take? We would have had to like distracted it down near his feet or something, eating his toes, so he can get out of his host body and then sneak down and jump into the little alien, and then
yeah.
live off his own body, his
Yeah,
own
live off-
human
Are
body.
you conscious in a sarcophagus?
Yeah, you can be.
Well,
you want-
he
if you
wouldn't
wanna be.
It wouldn't be much of a torture if like he was locked in there and unconscious, not knowing he was being eaten to death over a couple of thousand years.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But, like, that's what I'm thinking. How far...
I mean, it's hard
How-
to sleep if your face is getting eaten.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
I mean,
oh,
probably-
not for me.
He probably tried.
Sleep through anything.
Probably tried to take a nap, but yeah, he just kept. It was
In
like
fact,
the
I like getting my face eaten
It
while
was
I
like
sleep.
it was like Wile E. Coyote and that sheepdog, and it was just like they just clock off every afternoon. It's like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
stop eating.
Morning,
you.
Sam.
Yeah.
Morning, Ralph.
I'll stop eating you for 6 hours so we can go and have a beer and have a nap,
Yeah.
and then we'll clock back in and I'll start eating your face again.
Jeez, I'm hungry. All right, get
All
her.
right, get in
Go
there.
on.
Start with the nose this time.
I'll fix myself.
Eat the leg. More
Could
meat
do
on
with
it.
a drumstick.
Yeah, I know you said that it did feel short for you, Rhys. I actually didn't mind it because I thought I didn't say this so much last week, but Beast of Burden, like it for me, like it just kept falling short in certain areas. And following on Red Sky and Rite of Passage, it was like 3 kind of average weeks for me. Whereas this one, I think, was such a such a different story. Like, it was so integral. They were stuck in this cave for this little tomb that was
it's
being
a
hunted.
cigarette.
It's a
So I love that. How little O'Neill cared. He less and less every time. I don't care. But just sort of being hunted, it was sort of a bit. And it was another one of those episodes for me where just shows what can go wrong with what they're doing. It's so simple. They're going somewhere to have a look at something. We're explorers, and then it's just like, oh no, something's going. We're trapped, and something is hunting us, and it's something little. But it was still like, they had twice as many numbers in this episode as well. They had eight members down there, and had clearly eaten 4 other people.
Don't say member.
Don't say member, I'm sorry.
Wasn't that? I love the convenience of that. It's like, oh, we need someone to die in that ziggurat, but obviously SG1 can't die. SG11's died enough already. Let's bring some Russians and they can all die.
Yeah, we'll just put them all in red shirts so they can all
Except
die.
for the chick.
Yeah.
The chick didn't die.
Yeah.
Who the female Russian is Jennifer Halley. So she was the Jennifer Halley that auditioned for the part of Jennifer Haley back in Prodigy.
Right.
And then didn't get it, so they gave her this role instead because she could speak
Made her a
Yugoslavian.
Russian.
I actually had forgotten how this episode ended, and so I was like, are all these guys going to die? Because this should start some kind of war when 4 Russian soldiers get sent to America to go on a mission, and then, of course, all the American soldiers come back. So the fact that she did survive, I'm like, well, this is good. They're going to be mighty pissed, but at least,
Oh, if America didn't have the gate, there would be all-out war.
Yeah.
For sure. Why not? At the end, she was speaking Russian to her. I don't know what rank
General.
he was. General?
mate.
Was it her general?
Oh, that's right. He's
He doesn't have a name in this episode. This is the guy I was teasing you about last week. That's Gary Chalk. No, the other kind of teasing. So that's Gary Chalk. He was the voice of Optimus Primal from Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars.
Ah, right.
So yeah, he's an unnamed colonel in this, but he becomes a recurring character, Colonel Chekhov.
Right. I didn't think he looked Russian.
Is this his first?
No, he looked Czech.
It's his first episode of Stargate.
That's what I thought, but again, because I've seen him pop up as many times as he does, I was like, hang on, have I seen him this rewatch or?
Yeah, all the way through to season 10 he lasts.
Yeah.
Just.
I like him. In this,
He's in a
you're
heap
not
of other
supposed
shit
to.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Canadian actor, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's in a lot of that kind of stuff. He does all the shows.
He looks
shot in
totally
Canada.
Canadian.
Well, that makes sense because the show's made in Canada. But
They're going to fly someone all the way from Russia. But she was speaking Russian to him near the end of the episode, and the subtitles just said speaking Russian. And the last time we saw
didn't
that
even get
was
that.
in...
that wasn't on the DVD.
No.
Yeah.
On yours.
My DVD it was.
Do you
Oh,
have
it
your
wasn't my DVD.
subtitles
It
on?
wasn't on mine.
Yeah, sometimes.
Wasn't on mine.
It was on my DVD.
What about you, Mitch?
What about you?
Subtitle chats.
Mitch is like, I didn't watch it.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it didn't come up on mine. That's the thing. 'Cause whenever they did speak in Russian, and it didn't pop up, and I'm like, hang on, am I supposed to? And then O'Neill would go, "What was all that about?" I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, good. I'm not supposed to know what
Yeah,
they were
because
saying."
it said in brackets speaks Russian.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw that was when they were in the submarine.
Oh, and they're like, it looks like the alien from the previous
From the last,
episode.
yeah. So I'm like, I wonder what she said there, whether
Well-
it was a little in-joke again.
Well, yeah, Peter DeLuise mentioned that in the auto commentary. He says, so they just basically, Joe and Paul wrote the script all in English, and then the one guy who ended up being taken over by Marduk, the Russian guy, he was the translator. So he would basically, whatever phrases they wanted to be translated into Russian, he would translate them into them and tell the other actors how to say them if they didn't sort of know it or speak it or whatever. And then Peter DeLuise said, I basically just had to trust that guy was actually translating it correctly and they weren't saying something else.
That could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You would have said, oi, give us a job on screen. Well, then they just would have got another translator.
He was on screen.
Carry on.
He was Marduk.
Yeah, good.
That was the first part I said.
Who's Marduk? Which one's that?
Okay, so
Gould.
the Goa'uld, the evil.
Oh, the guy Rocky fought.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Rhys hasn't been paying attention.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll never get 5 out of 5.
Dolph
mate.
Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren, that's it.
I've just been trying to say Marduk a lot because I know that Brendan will probably put it in. Has Rhys been paying attention? So,
Oh, what's his name?
Marduk. Did anyone recognise that name at all? Any of the hardcore Stargate fans in the room?
Negative.
I actually missed the reference as well. Back from season 1.
What happened? It was my tooth.
Marduk discovered our secret and raided the temple where they tried to hide me.
That's Kendra from Thor's Hammer.
Oh, sick.
Old weave
Hang
weave the rune
Not the
flows.
same
So
Marduk.
well, she was supposed to be there, or he was supposed to be in there for 2,000 years in that ziggurat.
Well,
Who? Oh, the guy.
Marduk. Yeah.
mm.
Right.
Well, that's what Daniel said.
Yeah, he'd been
in
there
his
for a while.
wet dream of archaeology on.
Did he have the do-rag? I can't even remember. Did he have his
Yeah.
do-rag on?
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, big time.
He was
He had
full.
he had a big paintbrush. What? There's rings? And he had to. He literally had the paintbrush uncovered the entire rings and put the back of the paintbrush in and scooped around the circle. Well, it's here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Finally found it.
Yeah, what you needed to draw your own
It's like,
circle.
remember from New Ground when they unearthed the entire Stargate that was in the wall,
It's a circle.
and they just took that one rock off, and it's like, oh my god, it's a circle.
What were the odds?
That's brilliant. Well,
Although-
I think Shanksy must have been having a good time though. He must have had a good time on set with his do rag and his brushes and stuff, because he was even ad libbing.
I love this.
This is a nice little. This was
Classic.
Michael's ad lib, wasn't it? Coming up.
Great
there?
sound design. Oh yeah, typical horror movie thing. Just leave me alone.
This is a great little ad lib.
Yes, you go down the dark hallway alone, and I'll wait here in the dark room.
And I'll hold this thing that looks like a penis.
No, actually, I like that because I'm like,
And
oh,
also
that's
my penis.
sassy Daniel, but I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
That was deserved. It's just
Yeah.
I actually,
Shanksy.
yeah.
That kind of the scene where Daniel was in that doing his lovely archaeology bit reminded me of a bit of a movie, and Mitch is a huge movie buff like myself, so I've just got an audio clip I want to play.
Did you make something?
You have to say something. You don't just nod. You actually have to say something.
Well, I've given her a shot of epinephrine. That should buy us some time. But if we don't get her back to the SGC soon, she's not going to make it.
She's right. The same thing happened to the other team, according to Dr. Britsky's journal. The creature escaped when they opened the sarcophagus. They attacked Major Kerensky. He was dead within 2 hours. 2 people died when a passageway collapsed. And the last entry reads, I'm all alone now. There is no escape.
Drums. Drums.
Any mention of what happened to the others?
We cannot get out. The shadow moves in the dark. We cannot get out.
Only one course of action remains.
This was supposed to be a rescue mission.
It will appear there is no one left to rescue.
I wouldn't say that.
Fool of a
Tilk.
Seamless.
Actually, was that whole thing? I wasn't sure what audio you were borrowing and what the
It took ages.
the soundtrack. Well done.
I'm like, that music, is that... It sounds familiar, but is it gate music or is it from something else?
So I had to find the actual score for Balin's Tomb, and then I had the track with the audio, and I had to sync those two together, and then fade in and out of
Excellent work.
the Stargate one.
That was very good.
That just reminded me of that so much, where he's like, "I'm all alone now." I'm like, "Well, that's just Gandalf."
Yeah.
Just strap that straight from Tolkien.
Flicking that last page where it's just like the ink's like jam because he's clearly being murdered as he's writing into his journal. I'm being killed now. I'm actually being killed. There goes the sword into
That's
my
what I
gut.
was
I
wondering.
shall not pass.
If Maddie, you brought that thing up, how he's like, "That's an ad lib." I'm like, he didn't ad lib that. If that was that line.
He just stole it. He went and saw Lord of the Rings over the weekend before they before they recorded. Yeah. Apparently, O'Neill when they first go through the Stargate with the Russians, and O'Neill slaps the event horizon. He does that little slap of it. Apparently, that cost $3,000 to do that.
I meant to write that down. I'm like, as soon as he did it, I'm like, you prick! You just created so much extra work
So,
for the SFX guys.
Apparently, Peter Dilley's got in trouble for not doing another take where he didn't slap it. But Peter Dilley's is like, it's f***ing Richard Dennis, and what else am I going to do? So
He's paying for half of it.
Well, no, Brad Wright said he's taking the whole lot out of RDA's check.
Really?
The whole $3,000 out of his check for doing it.
Pocket change.
But
Got that in
then,
the ashtray, mate.
but then the tomb itself was actually a redress of the Hatak set. So
Oh, cool.
the good old Hatak, they basically just added all the dirt and sand and rocks
Switched
and all
the
that
lights
kind of
off.
stuff, changed the lights and stuff, and it cost them $300,000 to do it.
Oh, not worth
I was
it.
going to say, it's
Yeah.
so much. It's a big redress.
So so
Give
that's
that money to Stargate Origins, for God's sake.
Oh mate, they could have made 20 episodes for that.
Well, the funny thing is,
Um,
this is Joe and Paul wrote this.
Yeah.
So the last one they did was supposed to be a cheap one, which I can't remember the name of.
Last week.
Didn't they? Yeah, when
Beast of Burden.
The Fifth
No,
Man.
the Fifth Man. They're supposed to be just be like
Right.
a cheap using.
Yeah.
sets.
using standing sets and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah, because they didn't have the set because they were actually converting the set to the tomb, so that's why they didn't have that set to shoot on. So that's why they asked
What
them
a
they
waste.
needed a filler episode.
No, I like
and
the
then
concept of
Peter
this.
DeLuise wanted to shoot it obviously a lot darker because the whole argument about it was justifiable light. So a lot of the time the actors were actually lighting each other with their rifle lights. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, Craig.
Submachine guns, mate.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Not whatever.
actually, I wanted to ask Craig. Sorry. You go.
I'll just finish with this bit because I had some questions about the weaponry as well. But yeah, so Brad Wright was basically saying because Peter DeLuise was trying to make it darker and darker and spookier, and Brad Wright was going, "No, we paid $300,000 for this set. Light it so we can see it."
Wow.
So,
Yeah, sure.
What I wanted to ask was, there was an argument there with who was in command. So with with two countries working together.
Yep.
O'Neill's just decided he's in command. Is there a etiquette?
He'd have seniority, wouldn't he?
At the end of the day, I reckon because they left from an American base, that's the way I'd take it. Well, I'd say O'Neill is in command. You know, he's been off-world many times before. Like, you'd be stupid to go, hey, I'm the new Russian guy here. I'm in command. Like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being arrogant.
But if you've got two people on base who are of the same rank, does seniority factor into it? Like if someone's been there for 2 years and someone's been there for 6 months,
It can do.
and they're
Like
both the
say,
same rank.
like
I'm
say-
just going from my knowledge from Star Trek. That's all. So.
Is that
That's
An
one.
episode where B'Elanna and
Space
Tom
Wars.
are stuck, and Tom's giving her orders, and she's like, "We're the same rank. You can't
It's
give
not
me
the only
orders."
thing Tom was given her.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
O'Neill definitely would have been in charge of that. You know,
Yeah.
they gave all the briefing and everything at the US, you know, at the SGC, and then they left through the SGC. Like he's been off world before. It's like
Yeah.
say when I was in Afghanistan, I went with another section that had already been there for the previous 6 months. We go out on patrol. All right, yeah, I'm there as well, and there's another corporal of the same rank there. He's been there longer. He's had the more experience in country. He's in charge of that patrol.
Yeah.
Right. If I go out next time by myself, yeah, cool, I'm in charge.
Yeah, I think it was a good way to show, just reinforce how arrogant the Russians are
But
when,
we hate
when it
Russians.
comes to the Stargate
Yeah.
program.
Have we got Russian
So-
listeners?
We do actually.
Yeah.
We've got a couple. I'm talking about the Russians in the show, not real Russians. I'm talking Russians in the show.
Yeah, not great people.
Yeah.
Great people.
They
If
wanna
the Russians
sponsor
want
the
to sponsor the show, jump on board. Patreon.com/.
Get Into Geek, brought to you by Russia.
Get into our tomb.
Well, the bit I was going to ask Craig about is there was that. Was it a double layered joke, or did they not realise that when the Russian colonel and Jack are like walking to the gate and they're talking about their guns, and he's showing off the P90, and then the Russian guy's like, "Oh no, I like my gun because blah blah blah," and Jack's like, "Oh, aren't they actually made in Yugoslavia?" The P90s are Belgian, like they're made in Belgium.
Yes, they're made just actually because my partner, she's from Belgium.
That's
and,
right, yeah.
And that is the factory is just down the road from her parents' house. So.
Where they make P90s.
Yeah.
So, do you reckon O'Neill knew that? That he
No,
was.
he would assume America.
Yeah. Do you reckon O'Neill, given how much military knowledge O'Neill has, would he know where his gun's made?
He probably would, but he was just taking a sly dig at the Russians.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But-
That's what I mean. There was that level of the joke. I just wasn't sure if it went to
But
the
then
second
again,
level or not.
I'm pretty sure FN, which is the company that makes the P90, I'm pretty sure they do have a bit of a factory in America as well. So it could potentially have been made in America.
Ammunition or something, maybe.
They box it in America. Send it out.
Amazon
Slap a
box.
made in
America.
America. Yeah.
But yes, those are Russian weapons. Russian, I say in inverted commas, they were the Yugoslavian variant.
Were they the Kalashnikovs?
It was
AKs?
it was an AK variant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's better, that for you, that or the P90? I know because you're not a huge fan of the P90.
Where'd you get that from?
Because you said you'd prefer something else over a P90 when we spoke about it off mic.
Well,
Yeah,
just
a
because
tank,
I
he
would
said.
prefer something over a P90 doesn't mean that I don't like the P90.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like
Step
you're not
back,
going to
mate.
choose the P90 over
Like-
everything.
Who's this guy
Like-
think he is?
Oh, fucking hell. All right,
I prefer
Jesus.
women over men, but you know,
Yeah.
If you're in prison.
Yeah. Wouldn't say no to a P90 if you know what I mean.
I'd insert a clip or two.
Well, I'm just saying, with my meager knowledge of weaponry, I'd choose a P90 over anything except for like a Zat, because I think they're cool, and obviously I've seen them in action on Stargate. But I know you said, like, in a real world situation, you wouldn't necessarily choose something else over a P90.
Personally, in a real world situation, like if I knew we were going to be, say, outside quite a bit, like obviously not in the confines of a ziggurat, I would probably...
Like the pretty
specific.
It's a pretty niche scenario.
Mate, he's been in a cigarette, right?
For us civilians.
I would choose something in a different caliber for sure. Something that's going to reach out a bit further.
Well, you spoke to me about a particular weapon you like because you said it's got a bigger, longer range than the P90 and has a larger clip.
Magazine,
whatever.
Jeez, this guy.
God.
Hey, they call them clips in Stargate at some point.
Military advisor. Get it right.
Whatever.
But, personally, I would choose an M4 or an AR-15 type design. Or black rifles, AR-15s, they're the evil thing in the world, but
but if we circle all the way back around to my initial question, is would you prefer a P90 or whatever that the Russians?
He always
were
does
going
this. Try to bamboozle you.
I would take the P90 over the Russian
There you go.
weapon.
That's all I wanted to know.
Although,
we could have saved 8 minutes of recording time if you
No.
just answered the question, but all right.
Great.
Why answer the question when I can
Why don't you just
be a
write
dickhead?
down what you want him to say? I'm trying to get you to say what's on my script.
The P90 is a good weapon. It's a lot of fun. 50 rounds in a box magazine on the top there, and it fires pretty fast and hard. It's awesome.
Nice.
Going back to Watergate, I know Maddie and I had an argument about if O'Neill would go in the submarine on that other mission.
Yeah, where he sent
Well, not an
Carter
argument, just a
and
discussion.
a debate.
Yeah, I think we agreed, didn't we?
Because my thought was, wouldn't O'Neill being the commander be going off-world, or would he be staying in that Russian base?
So what was it? It
with
was a three-man submarine.
Yeah.
One of the Russians went.
So the Russian
Deanna
lady
Troy
went.
had to go, and then it had to be two of our. So two of our team had to stay behind, and two of our team had to go on the sub.
So Jackson and Carter went.
Yeah, and then O'Neill stayed back with Teal'c. Whereas Brendan, you were thinking that O'Neill should have gone on the sub.
Well,
I would have. Yeah, I
it was
don't know.
more of a sciencey type of thing, wasn't it?
That was I thought.
And Carter, she's military anyway, so
yeah.
she
she's
some ass.
sciencey plus military.
and she's sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our thought was if he and
Here's an
Carter had
American
gone on the
flag
sub,
if you want to wear this.
if he and Carter had gone on the sub with
I've got that autograph to that picture. Right?
Oh, nice.
How good? Oh, tell us about that then.
Yeah. If he and Carter had gone on the sub and left Jackson and Teal'c behind, then we were talking about, well, who would be left in charge? Like Teal'c and Daniel just like vying for whoever's in command of this empty Russian base.
I think we know that Teal'c would be in charge.
Yeah.
Daniel's like, I've been on Earth longer.
Yes, but that would be another dumbass Daniel moment where he gets his head crushed.
I would not hesitate to kill you where you sit.
But I always thought it was a lot too with it was just Jack's like untrustworthiness with the Russians. He's like, no, I'm going to stay on base where I can do my best work and be in control and
he
take
just
charge
wanted
of the
to
base.
snoop around.
And the nerds can go and do the science stuff in the submarine.
And if something happened, he wouldn't have died. So.
He probably saw it as an opportunity to be able to kill more things.
Yeah, snoop around on the Russian
Yeah,
base.
why not?
And, yeah, nice.
Steal some crackers and stuff. Yeah, he likes them.
Fireworks or biscuits?
Biscuits.
Oh, right,
He's
right.
a bit,
Or,
bit hungry.
or white racists.
And it worked better.
He said crackers. That's
Oh,
crackers.
wow.
But yeah, it worked better for that particular situation because Mayborn was there. So
Yeah, that's true.
So where did you get your photo autographed?
Yeah, I want to hear about the Amanda Tapping American flag
Jesus.
I just bought that one.
one. Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's
right.
nothing special.
I think I sold
Wouldn't
one
that-
of them on
She
eBay.
she doesn't sign them nude or anything.
No, but I could just imagine, like, if you went up with that
Oh,
picture
and
and you're
you
like,
put it
can
in
you
front of
sign
her. It's
this?
like, can you sign
and
this?
then look at her reaction like, oh boy.
Fair enough.
She's
So
just be like,
don't mind the
"Oh,
sticky
another
bits.
one." Oh, jeez. She goes, I never do.
Oh, God, yeah.
Talking about the like the arguments over authority and whatnot, there's two moments actually that I really liked about DeLuise directing this. I'll go to the bit of a trivial one at the start, which was just his cameo, like when they were going over the portfolio of the missing Russian soldiers, and
then
he
the
was
other
just
three were like
the third guy.
set decorators.
Oh,
and
really?
all that kind of. It was all crew.
I like.
he was the
Obviously,
third one.
he's the only one that stood out for me. He's the third one to go across. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, yeah, DeLuise cameo, nice and subtle. But then at the end, where just before Carter and Teal'c buzzed through to O'Neill and the Russian bloke and said that someone here is the thing, has the Gould inside them because we've found the other little host. There was a moment between the two where the Russian guy wants to go back to Earth. He's like, we need to go back and blah, blah, blah. And O'Neill's like, no, we need to stay here and sort out this mess.
Yeah.
And the way that it was shot, or at least lit, it was silhouettes. It was really cool. Like all the light was on the background, and you see the markings on the wall and shit. And you just, it's like a lot of one shots of each character, but there was at least one or two shot. And it was just the silhouettes of each of them. So they were just like these black characters just talking to each other. And I don't know. I think in the moment that
Don't say black, man.
You're right. That particular piece of dialogue where those two are talking to each other, I just thought it was a really nice piece of direction. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
he thought he was going to get in trouble for it.
Oh, really?
Being that he's filming the main actors like in complete silhouette.
Yeah.
But no, apparently.
Oh, they did it at bloody area. Bloody 50.
Oh,
odd.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They were there and they were
Under
in
the
the
bridge.
foreground.
And that was pointless because the sun was out.
So Tilt can sense a Goa'uld now.
Yeah, okay. Because I
Yeah.
was
Well,
going to ask,
where did that come
how long's
from?
that been around?
Well, he could back in first ones
Yeah.
technically because he said he can't sense them because there was no Naquadah. So
yeah. I knew we'd like heard rumblings of it before. There were moments where I just thought, I've never known. Like, I'm like, until this rewatch,
No.
that's never been something that I'd thought
No,
about.
remember in the first ones he wasn't sure. Oh, because it has.
he said he couldn't sense the Goa'uld.
Was
and,
that-
and
or-
that makes? But they established earlier on that episode that none of the
Goa'uld didn't
Goa'uld
have-
on that planet had Naquadah.
Oh, that
so
was,
Teal'c can sense a Naquadah infused Goa'uld.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the one with Cassandra.
I should have grabbed the audio because they do.
Where she comes through the gate with the Naquadah in her blood.
No, where Jolinar's in Carter. When Jolinar's
Enemy
in
Within.
Enemy Within.
Mm.
Then I was saying, why didn't Teal'c
Yeah,
sense the Goa'uld?
because Joe and Paul weren't writing on the show then.
Yeah.
So, Peter DeLuise does kind of pull him up on it a little bit in the audio. I should have grabbed the audio, but I didn't think you'd bring it up. Yeah, he mentions it, and then Joe and Paul kind of give a half-handed excuse. Joe and
'cause
Paul,
I like
Joe and
it.
Paul inadvertently call season 4 season 1 because that was the season that they started.
Right.
When we started
when
back
the shows actually
when
gets
we
good
started back in season 1, blah
they
blah
wrong?
blah, and then I
No,
think
they're not wrong.
When it got
Paul-
important.
I think like one of them said that, and then the other one said, "Oh, technically that was season 4," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right." So, but
I like it because it's helpful for a writing point of view and a
if it means we can
storyline.
go to Teal'c instead of Carter, and she doesn't have to reference
Yeah.
Jolinar, then I'm all about it.
Didn't Carter say that anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
then she was like, "Oh,
said
me
she
neither,"
couldn't
or
sense
"Me."
it.
When she
too," or
was
whatever.
standing right next to Teal'c.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The Goa'uld is.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It's
Can't
like,
sense
no, me
one.
neither. I
Well,
can't
obviously
sense
you're
one
full of shit.
Yeah, there's
There's one right next to you.
There's one
and you can't sense one.
There's one turtling out of Teal'c's pouch right
Yeah.
now, and you can't sense it.
You're really dragging out this Jolinar thing.
Yeah.
But maybe this is the handover, handing the torch to Teal'c.
Hopefully, I'm pretty sure
Please.
there's no actual mention of the name Jolinar
No, I'm
anymore,
pretty
but
sure there's
there
not.
is the
Well,
occasional.
they didn't actually mention the name
reference.
Jolinar in this episode, though.
No.
No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
they just
Her abilities.
there's a couple of more like allusions to it.
distancing themselves.
But I
Yeah.
from it.
I think we're done with her actually going, "Oh, Jolinar." From what I remember from Jolinar, like they
Yeah.
stopped dropping the
Yeah.
name.
God. The convenience
Yeah.
factor.
Well, how good was it when they found the dead creature laying there on the ground, and they're like, they want to look inside it, and Teal'c's just like,
Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, what are you doing?
That was
It's
cool.
dead Teal'c.
That was
Like,
that was like a real leg of like meat that they just like painted
it?
in green screen green.
I was gonna say, that looked
And then
pretty mad.
Teal'c basically just cut into a real piece of meat. So that's real meat you see when you see like the neck wound where he checks for the symbiote.
But the
Right.
rest of it is
Green
CG.
screen.
yeah, because that's why when he was kicking it and you only saw the creature just like reacting
Yeah.
to him being kicked, I'm like, oh, well, that's clearly a visual effect.
Yeah.
But then when he cut, I'm like, that looks real. But then when he
Yeah.
dragged the knife out, there was just it looked a little bit funny. I don't know whether it was
it had a little bit of slime on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It glistened.
The color variant between the way that it was lit between the actual blade and the creature that was cutting, and I'm
Yeah.
like, which of those bits are fake now? Like, I just thought
Yeah.
maybe he puts his hand down.
Imagine
and the
being a
knife's
prop
all
master
fake.
on that show, and it's like, oh, what have I got to do today? Oh, I've got to go and buy like a leg of lamb and then spray paint it lime green so that someone can cut into it. That's a weird day.
Easiest $800 he's ever made.
So we spoke about Teal'c being one of the galaxy's greatest trackers.
Yes.
Useless in a maze.
Yeah, well, what's he tracking?
The
The entrance/exit.
the Goa'uld thing.
Right. The earwig.
The earwig. The giant earwig.
Big earwig. Yeah, well, it's got too many
Oh, they're
feet.
going in circles.
It's got too many feet.
It's like, come on, Teal'c.
Yeah, well, why didn't he just mark stuff on the wall?
Yeah. Well, they had the glow sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Feel like I'm in a raid.
Yeah, which stopped glowing after like 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
the green ones, they last to like 8 hours or 12 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's picked it up and it's just dead.
Well, how long were they in there? Because doesn't Carter make some reference about, oh, we've got enough food for this long.
Rations
we've only got
for
enough,
5 days
We've
or-
only got enough water for 24 hours or something.
That's why they killed the Russians. We've just doubled our...
Oh, well.
We've got food.
Yeah.
Let's have a feast.
Tastes like vodka.
Plus, we got a leg of lamb here, so why
Yeah,
not chow
just
in?
pick around the green parts.
I had a bit of an issue with the ending of this. At the end of the tomb, like they've found the rings and they're all about to leave.
Yeah.
And then the Russian who they thought was blown up with a grenade
Yeah.
miraculously comes out not missing any limbs.
Because Peter DeLuise said in horror movies the bad guy always comes back. So that was
Yeah,
why
but
he
I was
came back.
hoping that the Gould would have gone into the Colonel, and the Colonel comes back as the Gould.
Oh, yeah, because then they couldn't have blown him up.
Yeah,
From a grenade blast, you wouldn't necessarily be missing limbs or anything.
even when he caught it.
So there's a
Oh,
Even
yeah,
when
because he literally
every-
like caught the grenade in his hand,
Well,
didn't he?
Yeah.
I think
And everything fell on him.
I feel bad if I'm wrong here with this guy's name. I'm pretty sure his name is Kyle Carpenter. He was a U.S. Marine, I think, that got the Medal of Honor. He got blown up by a grenade, survived.
True.
So like he and plus other people throughout time have laid on them and stuff to like protect their mates.
But they would have lost limbs and stuff.
No.
wouldn't they? No,
No, not
wow.
always. Yeah, some of them
Okay.
do. Yeah, but not always. Depends on the grenade as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just interested that he because he caught it, so I'm thinking he'd at least lose a digit.
I thought they shot around. I didn't look sort of closely enough because I was falling asleep by that point. But I thought they must have just shot around the fact that they wanted him to look like he was missing an arm or something like that.
No, he was
But-
fine.
Yeah.
It would have been super cool if he came out missing an arm, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like full like
Yeah.
They
The
could have
Walking
reused that
Dead.
piece of lamb and just
Yeah. It's all about saving on budget. Spent $300,000 on the set. You got to save money elsewhere.
But were they expecting him to come out because they had like 15 sticks of C4 and Claymore, like Russian Claymores, and then ready to blow up?
Yeah, that was that
Was their
convenient of.
intent-
Were they just in case they were gonna
Yeah, well,
blow it up? Just
they
in
didn't know
case?
where they were going to ring to either. They could have ringed
Well-
somewhere else in the ziggurat.
Oh
yeah,
no,
which they're
th-
just about to blow up. They,
Yeah.
they,
No,
did, they did say it was going to
they
be a
did
couple
say
of
it's
kilometres
couple
away.
couple of
didn't they?
miles
okay.
away,
Yeah,
a
okay,
couple of
so-
clicks or whatever it was they used.
Right.
Yeah, so, and they knew the gold was still in there, which was obviously why they were going to blow it up.
Yeah,
I
and then
guess.
it would blow up the ring transporter then, I guess, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can't get out.
Yeah, true.
And I guess they thought, oh, that guy at the start got crushed by those rocks. He's definitely dead, but this guy got crushed by rocks and a grenade, and he's got a Gould in him that might heal him. So I guess that's why they were just
Yeah.
double checking. I guess.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
just
it was a
thought
bit-
that was pretty. Isn't that a lot?
They started. It was like, where were they carrying all that? Like, I know they normally each carry like a 1 or 2 blocks of C4, but like there was all that
Yeah.
other stuff on top, like that the C4
Yeah, the
was sitting on
Russian-
for as
He
well.
did have his gold shield as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that
yeah.
maybe
that
that's
was-
why he didn't get completely
Yeah,
fucked
that's
up.
not a bad point.
True.
He still caught it though. Like he did catch the grenade in his hand.
Yeah, I
So you'd
just
think-
thought I
Maybe
was
he
like,
dropped it and was like, ah!
Yeah.
Just booted it.
Activate the shield! Activate the shield!
Shit, this is a grenade.
Yeah, because for
Yeah.
some reason I was expecting the Colonel to come back in, who had been taken over by the Gould.
Oh yeah.
I love it how
How did he die? Oh, sorry.
But he got
He-
collapsed in on him with the grenade
Yeah.
because he threw the grenade at him, and O'Neill jumped out of the way.
Oh, that's right. I see
In
what you
that
mean.
room.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I love it how SG-1, if it was an American with a Gould in him, they would have been like, oh, we'll tie him up and bring him back to SGC.
Yeah.
We'll try and get him out. But this one, they're just like, oh, you're a Russian. We'll blow you up.
Yeah.
Like, problem solved.
It's like
Who cares?
wouldn't Teal'c and Carter have like been wearing Zats? Like, wouldn't they have had Zats and they could have
Yeah.
just boom?
Totally.
Yeah.
I reckon, yeah, SG-11's down the bottom, but Russians are under them.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, apparently, the patches that the Russians were wearing, or something. I read it somewhere on like Wikipedia or whatever, but it said like the patches that the Russians were wearing. If you translate it to English, it actually says SG-1.
It was like 3G1
Oh,
or
really?
something. wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. So like the
Russian
Russians,
Cyrillic.
yeah, the Russians are just calling themselves
funny.
SG-1.
Wannabes.
So going back to Daniel at the start with his Indiana Jones style shit,
Mm.
he was saying that it was Mesopotamia and the cuneiform.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going back to Fire and Water with Nem.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was from Amaroka was from Babylon.
I did read that. Someone theorized that Marduk and Tiamat are the same as Amaroka and
Nem.
Belos.
Oh, yeah.
Belos. In the same way, I guess I didn't really look into it much, but I think it's the same way. It's like, Zeus and Jupiter are similar, whether you're looking at Greek or Roman mythology. That Amaroka and Tiamat are kind of the same deity in the same way that Belos and Marduk were. Which is interesting.
So, what fate Marduk?
I was just about to say, well, we know what fate Marduk.
Yeah. I just thought that was nice. I wonder if they were kicking around as a Nem style water dude.
Ooh.
Fish dude.
That's not bad.
Because it's the only kind of time we see a ziggurat. Like we see the Mayan pyramids and
which is fine. I think Stargate at its best is when it's doing Egyptian mythology. But they tend to run out of gods and stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Just make a new one up.
I mean, they had Lord Yu from really early on, but they never...
Who? Me?
You.
Oh. What? I'm on first.
You.
Classic Stargate jokes.
Yeah.
This is why I started watching
Trust me, everyone, done to death. So they had Lord Yu very early on, but they never explored like Chinese mythology or anything like that. I reckon because Emancipation probably gave them a little bit of nervous peas.
Yeah.
So they just went, no, let's just ignore Asian culture.
That was more Mongolian, wasn't it, than Chinese?
Yeah.
The hell? What was that?
I do not know.
Where's that coming from? It's the TV.
Is it?
No, it's not.
No, what the hell is that?
Where's it even coming
Oh
from?
my God, the traffic's on.
Oh!
Closure at Kelvin Grove Road closed both ways between Ithaca Street and Petrie Terrace due to tree removals. Commemorate this Remembrance Day with the official 2018 Anzac coin collection. Get a free 50-cent United coin and collector's album only when you buy the Sunday Mail tomorrow. That's our sponsor. This is Rhys. Check it again soon on 99.7 Bridge FM. Also, Dave and I go way back.
Is Bridge FM?
Bridge FM, one of the classics.
One of your classic community radio stations.
Oh!
Build a bridge, mate.
That's our sponsor. I was like,
That's our sponsor.
ATM won't be making you say that. That's brilliant.
Ah, you're welcome, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Get to your stations, boys.
yep. I'm on the big gun today.
Oh,
Close the iris.
That could only be one, couldn't it?
this is the
Dan and Dan.
It's Poochie
Poochie
FM.
theme music.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Get Into Dan, a Stargate voicemail for the Stargate
He does them
podcast,
quick.
Get
Another
Into
episode.
Geek. Bonjour, chaps.
Love 'em.
How's it going?
Good, mate.
That's nice.
Bonjour.
Apologies for the lack of communication and, to be honest, the lack of listening as of recent. However, I have caught up today whilst I was cooking what could possibly be the greatest spaghetti bolognese ever made.
Send some to
I
us.
made my own sauce. I used vegetables and herbs from the garden.
We all
I
make
must
our
say
own
I'm
sauce.
Yeah,
proper
big time.
chuffed with myself.
That should be.
I'm in Brazil now, and it's fucking hot all the time. And I'm a long
Bad news for you, buddy.
way from home. But the sauce has got me feeling strong.
How drunk is
I'm
this
not
man?
talking about the tomato and basil sauce, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Alongside,
basil
as well
sauce.
as not listening very much recently, I've also not watched any Stargate SG-1. It's a total catastrophe. But what I'm after today, chaps, what I'm after from some of you anyway, the married chaps as it were, is advice. I need some
Get
advice.
out.
How do I get
Don't do it.
my wife to watch Stargate? And before you answer, please consider this. She's got many degrees and diplomas, whatever the f you call them, and avias in the archaeology and the history and all that sort of ancient shit. I got pictures of her digging up bones all over the world, man, including Egypt. And she won't watch Stargate. I mean, when she tries to tell me why, I sort of tune out a little bit, but it's something to do with the fundamental historical issues. I don't know. It leaves me speechless. Bloody women, eh?
Absolutely.
Anyway, a fellow Stargate SG-1 fan out here, what episode would you say was best to get her on board the Stargate train? Also, she's foreign. Well, she's not foreign now. I'm foreign. Picture. Also, I suppose I'm down under like you. But
he's Southern Hemisphere now,
I'm
isn't
pretty
he?
sure I'm below the equator. It's sort enough. In the meantime, also I'd like to thank Rhys for the shout out of my old podcast. It's low quality and high bullshit. And also, Rhys, congratulations on the new job situation. Are you going to be flying around in a helicopter?
Yes.
That'd be pretty cool. Either way, it's fucking cool, man. Good luck.
I feel like I'm talking to the bridge.
Oh, and high pitch. This is an official invitation. Do you want to get involved in the old 10 forward, eh? Perhaps discuss why disco is so amazing. Or
I mean, I'm watching TNG. Don't worry about it.
Who's saucier? Deanna Troy or Jadzia Dax? I mean,
well,
of
that's
course,
an obvious
Deanna
question.
Troy, but
What?
It'd be good to get your perspective, man. Come
Dan,
on. You
no.
want to get involved.
No.
Yeah. I think that'll be it for now. Trying to keep it short and what have you. Take it easy, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Dan Poochie out. Ooh-wee.
Okay. Before we get to the married guys question.
Well done.
Poochie.
Well done. Well done to Poochie. Before we get to the married guys helpline there, he just posited that he thinks
Careful, you're about to talk about Star Trek.
No, I'm not. Okay, so the Russian chick from Watergate.
Oh, he's skirting around
He
it.
is saying that she is saucier than Reggie from Becca.
No, he's not saying that.
Yes, he is.
No, because two different characters.
Yeah.
Because she's not actually Russian in real life.
Like, Deanna Troy is way sexier
Yes.
than the
Jadzia
Watergate,
Dax?
than the Watergate chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't, but Dax, but Troy over Dax.
Deanna Troy over Dax.
Oh, you're insane.
Yeah, I concur.
You don't even know who Dax is.
Yeah, the chick from Becca.
So you're allowed to call her the chick from Becca, but I'm not. I get what it is. All right, I answer your fucking married guys question.
Well, for me, I made my wife get into Stargate and made sure she liked Stargate before I married her. It was like a.
So you got her to watch Emancipation, or?
Yeah, no,
because then she'll leave.
The women love Emancipation.
But if I have to give one to your misso, I would say
Stargate episode. You mean?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Is
there one where
Wormhole
Daniel...
Extreme? No, the first ones, because it's kind of mythological archaeology, so it doesn't have to be grounded in facts. And also, Daniel's kind of getting a bit buff when he takes his jacket off. You see his arms.
Oh, solid. And Tilt does an over-the-shoulder staff blast.
Yeah.
Would you go full Evolution parts 1 and 2 where Daniel's like full buff and he's in a tank top?
I wouldn't start there.
And he's all sweaty in the Congo.
No, I wouldn't start that far ahead.
It's all downhill.
Too many questions. Whereas first one's a good intro because
you know standalone.
You know Tilk's different.
Yeah, I think
not because he's black.
I think if we
he's a
get,
Jafar.
I think if we get to the root of the issue, you were right. It's like you shouldn't actually marry a woman unless she likes Stargate.
Yeah,
like the mistake was proposing.
Like I made a terrible mistake because I have an infatuation with Jim Carrey, and so we were watching Man on the Moon constantly, my wife and I, before we got married. And then last week she tells me I don't really like Jim Carrey. I was like, what the
Did you get tricked? Does she like that you like Jim Carrey? She just likes that you like Jim Carrey.
Maybe.
She likes Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, good call.
Kaufman.
Yeah, so
Mitch,
rethinking my life at the moment.
As the other married man in the room?
I was with my missus prior to watching Stargate, so she liked it anyway. Can't help you, mate. You're on your own, Pooch.
For me, it was only in this rewatch actually. Like I'm going through watching all these episodes, and when I'm not watching TV with my wife, like she never sat down and watched any of the 90 whatever that we've covered so far. But it was, I think, a matter of time midway through season 2 where I'm like, oh, I reckon it's not so much because it's a Stargate-y episode as far as like the aliens and even the wormhole travel, just the idea of black holes and time and space manipulation, blah, blah, blah. I just think there's enough there, just cool sci-fi stuff.
You could almost say black holes and revelations.
Fire up that song. We're at a radio station. If only I knew how to work the computer, I'd play that. And I think that would be a good way to get in because then you
Mate, if it's not Justin Bieber or Ed Sheeran, you don't have it.
Yeah, and I think through that, then maybe you fall in love with the characters and the chemistry and whatnot, and then you could probably pick up an episode that was a little bit more Stargate-y with the Gould and the Asgard and all that sort of stuff. But I think for me, I watched A Matter of Time, and I remembered how much I loved that episode. And I was thinking maybe I can rewatch this and show it to Sarah and go, hey, look, this is why I love Stargate. Because she said she has watched it back in the day. Her brothers were right into it. They're a couple of years older than her, and so she was a child. So it's probably been a while since she's watched it. But she liked it back then, but it's not something she ever really wants to
And it's a
revisit.
mixed bag with you. Like, if she comes in to watch a show that you're watching, it's like, and you said it before in your DC podcast, it's like she'll come and sit down to watch an episode of like the Belantiverse with you, and you've got to like apologize to her and be like, it's actually a much better show than what this episode is.
No, it's not.
No, I've never said that.
It's not. It's
I've never
not.
said it. I've explained.
I've never
why-
said that.
I've explained why certain thing, or it's been like something completely new. Everyone, I have no explanation for this.
Yeah.
But then there's also on the opposite side of the coin, I went and watched the first 5 episodes of Daredevil season 3.
Careful,
when I was
Mitch.
on the away
You're about
trip.
to get adjust. That's one.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm not firing the button off, so. And we went to watch season 3. Went to watch episode 6. And she was sitting there. She's like, "Oh, I'll watch this. I didn't realize you'd started without me. I'm not worried. I'll pick up here." And I'm like, "All right." And
No,
I
you
sat
won't.
there for 5 minutes and tried to like summarize what the first 5 episodes of that show were all about. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. This is why I watch TV without you.
Yeah, the best thing to do there is just not say anything, and she'll ask the questions she wants to know.
Yeah, but I was
and then
so
you
excited.
have to pause
I'd
it
watched,
46
like,
times.
Where
5
did she get
episodes.
her shoes? That gets annoying. I don't know.
Not sure.
Why
The
you
shop.
are- I don't care.
I can't wait till Lincoln's back because Lincoln started watching a new show.
Oh, sorry, Craig.
Seriously,
And
I'm
I
right.
really-
I can't wait till Lincoln's back, Craig.
No, don't break the headphones. You'll pay for them. They're Link's headphones.
I'd also go back and just watch the movie too.
Yeah,
If
good
she
call.
likes the movie,
Oh,
she's
good
going to
call.
like the series.
And if she doesn't like the movie?
It's divorced.
Bail, yeah. Divorce time.
Well, he's already in Brazil.
Go back to London.
Just knock her up so you've got a kid and then watch the show with the kid.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Oh, great call.
Name your kid Jack. That's what I've done as well.
And also, don't cook her spaghetti bolognese. If she
Yeah,
doesn't,
don't
if
use
she
the
doesn't want
herbs
to watch
from the garden.
the herbs. That's yeah.
What
Tell
is
her if you watch it, I'll cook you a spaghetti bolognese. Bangers and mash, good old
Yeah, great
English.
bit of a mince pie, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, Yorkshire pudding, if you know what I'm saying. You're all right.
Anyway, I think the most sensible answer we got was try and get one where Daniel's looking buff or something.
Yeah, it gets him in.
Oh, I thought
those blue eyes.
I thought the most sensible
It might
one
get
was
him in
divorced.
after.
Yeah,
That's it.
As the single guy in the room, I thought the most sensible answer was divorce, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
We'll stick with Buff Daniel.
Oh, it still is, but it's impractical.
yeah.
Lose
hard
half
to go
your
back.
shit. Like,
It's time to
find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
All right.
Spoiler
all
alert.
right.
How many questions this week, mate?
5 questions.
Oh,
for
no
you.
way.
Just smashing them out.
All right.
30 seconds on the clock. Time starts after this one. I haven't pre-read these, so
Yeah, good.
and there's scribble everywhere. So
Yeah,
bear with me.
The
No.
answer to question 3 is Marduk.
Close.
Nice question too.
What 2 members of SG-1 can sense a Goa'uld symbiote?
Carter and Tilk.
Correct. What episode did we previously encounter the Russians?
Watergate.
Correct. The ancient structure wasn't a pyramid, but a Babylonian what?
Ziggurat.
Correct. How did SG-1 escape the ziggurat?
Ringed out.
Correct.
Oh,
What
shit.
Goa'uld was trapped in the sarcophagus?
Marduk.
Oh, correct. Jesus Christ. That one was supposed to be the stumping, but
Oh,
Thanks, Maddie.
5 out of 5.
There is a first time for everything.
Hey, let's be honest. I needed the bloody help.
Yeah,
It's been a while. What's that season? Season 3 was the last time you...
Crack the tequila, boys.
I think that's the third time only.
Be honest.
I think fifth race was
Fifth
the last
race
time.
was the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the first time.
Did Win Opportunity, did you get it in there?
I'm not sure. No, there was one when you didn't have 5 questions. I got 4 out of 4, and you said who was the director of bloody Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy.
Yeah.
No.
The movie.
Director, yeah. Anyway, I can't
Be
remember.
honest, though, if Maddie hadn't dropped that name, do you think you would have got that last one? We was supposed to stump you. Do you think you would have got
Absolutely, I would have.
it? Absolutely. Well answered.
Sure.
Well answered.
Correct. 6 out of 6.
No question in my mind. I'm good with names.
All right, that is episode 97 of Get Into Gate. Talking the Tomb, we will be back next week. Number 98, Between Two Fires. In the meantime, you can check out all of our old podcasts on the Get Into Gate podcasting channels. Just find your favourite podcasting outlet. You can like, subscribe, share, all that sort of gear on our social pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or if you want to drop us a long-form message or send us a voicemail, like the pooch, getintogate@gmail.com. Or if you want to join the show, his wives and his herbs. God, I'm going to love it.
Fanny pack.
If you want to join the show, support the show, be part of the show, contribute to the show, patreon.com/getintogate.
If you want to raid our tomb,
and we are open to it.
Mate, open for business.
Jump
Our
in my
cigarette is open.
Yeah. Ring in.
Jump in my cigarette. I liked about your off-world. I don't even know what that means.
Look, if you haven't done it yet, jump on iTunes and give us a review. If you listen on iTunes, even if you don't listen on iTunes, just
if you don't listen,
create an iTunes account and review us.
Especially if you don't listen, just take our word
Well, I think
for
you can also give us a little thumbs up on SoundCloud as well if you listen through SoundCloud.
Yes,
because I don't think you can leave reviews on SoundCloud, but
you can write comments.
Oh, yeah, you can comment. And
heart it.
Yeah,
a little. Oh, is it a heart or a thumbs?
It's a heart.
up?
No, it's a
okay, I
heart,
was thinking
yeah.
thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. That's what I meant.
No, you're on the Google Podcasts app now as well.
Yeah, I did that during the week. Good call, Craig.
Whatever.
Yeah, I've popped that on the Google ones.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew what that meant, I'd be really impressed, and I'd totally plug it.
Is that Google Play?
Google Plus?
I don't think it's Google Play because we
Just
couldn't.
Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
So
I
with
did
all
get
my
it.
other podcasts on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to slowly. Once I find one, I go, oh, cool, I'll pop it on.
Does
there.
anyone listen to podcasts either on anything other than iTunes or?
Yeah.
Yes, clearly I've got the app
SoundCloud?
right here.
Androiders, mate.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I listen
SoundCloud isn't actually that popular.
Oh, well, see, I'm an Android kid, and I listen on SoundCloud.
I was listening on SoundCloud until I got the Google Podcast.
There's
remember.
Podbean and
Yeah.
there's a whole Whoosh car or something. But also SoundCloud is one of the only ones that doesn't automatically let you go onto Spotify. So
Right.
could be changing providers, SoundCloud, if you don't get your bloody act together.
Yeah, maybe you want to sponsor the show, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jump on board.
Or
No
Spotify.
complaints. Once you sponsor the show.
Great people at SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, then give us some of our own money back.
Might give our RSS feed to one of our patrons to flick over to Google Play, because you can only do it if you're in the United States.
Right.
What if
some
you use a
reason.
VPN?
Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, you have to pay for a VPN. Hola doesn't work.
Jesus.
I don't know what any of that meant.
It's all right, just technical stuff.
Acronyms.
If you want to get technical and follow us and chat to us individually, I am Mitch_Lewis on Twitter and Instagram. Maddie, where you at?
At High Pitch Matty.
Brendan.
I'm at the Bren Gibson.
Rhys.
I'm at the Flying Gibson.
Now, Craig, are you still dark, mate? You like?
No, I've got one on Instagram at Precision Rifle Guy.
Oh,
If that doesn't hook you in,
yeah.
I can check your pulse, mate.
I know there's a few listeners out there that love gun porn.
Yeah.
Is there a bit of gun porn?
Have a look.
Oh, say no more.
If you want to see a deer just stripped down, like he's hunted himself, just go for it.
And then 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Good.
That's a good thing about
that. Brendan's like, I've never felt so emasculated in my life.
That's a good thing about
I mean,
that.
you don't want to just hang it on your wall, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to get a steak out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple.
I mean, you want to
There's
trophy.
like 3 months worth of red meat there. Right?
You want a trophy and a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What's worse? You're just letting someone else staple a cow in the face.
Well, yeah, I just go buy sausages, mate, from the local supermarket.
Yeah, there's no meat in that.
Well, you could make your own, make your own sausages.
Oh, nice.
Lovely.
Chuck 'em in some condoms.
Yeah, and a P90's not a rifle, Matty, so if you just write that down.
I'll write that down. It's a submachine gun.
Yeah.
Correct.
Turns out Maddie has been paying attention.
Get Into Geek.